Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Caribbean and beyond. I am your host, Emmanuel Paul, and today we have the pleasure to have with us Congressman Andy Levin, with whom we are going to discuss the ongoing situation of Haiti. Former Congressman Levin is the founder of the Haitian Caucus. During his time in Congress, he was very involved in trying to bring an end to the crisis in Haiti. So we're going to talk to him today for a couple minutes to know how things are going for him and what's the latest update for the caucus, if he's still informed about the work of the caucus. Congressman Levin, how you doing? It's a pleasure to have you.
Hey, Emmanuel, it's great to see you. I'm doing great. Happy 2024. I hope it's
Thank
a
you.
better
Thank,
year.
thank you. Thank you. Happy 2024 to you too. It's been a very long time. We didn't have you in our show, and this one is a new podcast we have, the Caribbean and beyond. What is new for you right now, former Congressman Levin?
Well, it's now a year since I left Congress, and for me personally, it's been a very good year. I'm working on a number of projects that I feel like are really important, and I'm working with people who I like and respect. To tell you very quickly, I'm at the Center for American Progress here in Washington, D.C. I come here not nearly as often as I used to when I was in Congress, but I'm here every month, certainly. And I work on both foreign and domestic policy at the Center for American Progress. And that's very rewarding. And then I have multiple projects back home in Michigan. I'm working with an environmental nonprofit to push our utilities to hurry up and close their coal plants and put big battery storage and solar facilities on those lands and rewild some of the land. They're always on a body of water, let people have nature trails and fish and bird watch and so forth. That's an interesting project. I'm working with another group to help encourage unions that represent fossil fuel workers. Think of workers on pipelines or in refineries or that kind of thing, power plants, help those unions grow, find their self-interest in the emerging clean energy economy, solar, geothermal, wind, battery storage. We really want to grow good union jobs in the carbon-free economy so those unions can grow and we can bolster the middle class in this country. That's very interesting. And then I'm back at the startup company I created called Lean and Green Michigan, which my wife has owned since I went to Congress. That's what the ethics people told me to do. So that's what we did. And we've decided that she will stay as the owner of it. We like that. And she said, okay, get yourself back in here and help now that you're not in Congress. So I'm working on helping businesses and nonprofits to transform their buildings or build new buildings that are very much more energy efficient, new boilers, chillers, tinted windows, white roofs, green roofs, solar, any kind of technology that helps save the planet and helps save these businesses or nonprofits money by reducing their energy costs. So
Any
those are some of the things I'm working on.
any formal title at the Center for American Progress? Do you have any formal titles, or you just helping?
At Center for American Progress?
Yes.
Yeah, I think my title is I'm a distinguished senior fellow. And I work with them like I'll give you an example. Folks there wrote a paper on the fact that we need to protect democracy, not just in countries that are, maybe like enemies of the United States or something like that, but in our friends. And they cited Mexico, India, and Israel. And so I helped them organize events and I participated in one of them about the problem of democratic backsliding in Israel and in India, both of which are, very, it's problematic what's happening to democracy in India You've got Hindu nationalism on the march there, real problems with the treatment of minorities like Muslims and Christians and so forth. And in Israel, obviously, there are great problems with democracy as well. When you've got an occupation of the Palestinian territories going on since 1967. And, I've said for years that there's no long-term peace and security for the Jewish people until the political and human rights of the Palestinian people are realized as well. So, and now we see this horrifying cycle of violence going on and on. We have to change that. So yeah, I'm officially there. I have an office there, and I'm working with many. They have wonderful staff there, Emmanuel. At you know,
Any plan to go back to Congress next time?
I'm definitely not running in 2024. I've announced that. Whether I run in for public office again in the future, 2026 or beyond, I haven't made any decision about that. But in 2024, I'm just helping, good candidates a little bit here and there. I think the main thing we have to accomplish in 2024 is hanging on to our democracy here in the United States by making sure that any candidate anybody supports pledges to support democracy. You wouldn't, in the past, you wouldn't even have thought that's necessary to talk about. But people have to respect the outcome of elections. They have to, if they lose an election, they have to say, gosh, I would have liked to win, but I didn't win. So now the other party or whatever the other person is the president or the governor, whatever the office may be.
So during your time in Congress, you created, you like to say you co-funded, but you funded the Haitian Caucus on your own, and then bringing other members who have some large Haitian communities. But you don't have a lot of Haitian, you didn't have a lot of Haitian in your district, and maybe no Haitian at all. So why did you think about founding the caucus when you could not politically benefit from it? There's no, like, nothing for you in it.
Well, I have to say we walked this earth for a short period of time, and what is really in it for us? Obviously, people love money and power and sex and food. They like pleasurable things, but really, what nourishes your soul, I think, and what makes you die in peace is that you tried to fight for justice on this earth. And earlier in my life, I was able to go to Haiti when I was in college to study the impact of USAID there. And this was in 1980. I mean, the Duvalier dictatorship was still there. And I traveled the country for several weeks, and I interviewed US officials and other people. And I determined that really the main impact of USAID was propping up the Duvalier dictatorship. Honestly, that's what I found. And we could talk about why that's true. But I mean, you just think about what US policy was like in those days. And then when I was a union organizer after I graduated from college, I was organizing mostly healthcare workers in Michigan, where I'm from, and Indiana. And then for love, I transferred to Boston with the union. My then girlfriend, now wife, she wanted to go to graduate school and become a teacher, which she did. And she went to Lesley College in Cambridge. And I found out that a plurality of workers at any nursing home in the Boston area are Haitian. So I learned to speak Haitian Creole to do my job. And then that was like 85 to 88. So a year into it, Baby Doc fled. And after that, there was going to be a presidential election. And people knew I spoke Creole. So I was asked to go on a human rights observer mission to the 87 elections. And I said, okay, the union I worked for said, well, you could go, but we're not paying you. So I had to raise the money to go, a couple $1,000s for a plane ticket and, a hotel room. Anyway, as people who watch your podcast probably know, the elections, what was it, November of 87, I think, were horribly aborted by the coup regime, really. We came under gunfire at a polling place in Carrefour. Those we had, I think, 11 or 12 people on our delegation. Only 3 of us actually went out because the violence was so bad. But we did go out, and at first we left the Holiday Inn, which was the headquarters downtown of election, operation, and the plate glass windows there had been smashed, and we were followed by an armed personnel carrier. So we took evasive action, and then we got to this polling place in Carrefour, and these guys came by and strafed it with gunfire. It was a school with walls. That's the only reason people weren't killed. There was a walled compound kind of. And the thing is, I was there to observe. So people scattered, obviously ran away screaming. And then the line reformed. Do you hear me? People came back in line after being shot at. So I said, Andy, wake up, go interview these people. So I interviewed an old woman who honestly might not have been much older than I am now, but she had lived a hard life and was a poor person. And I said to her, Madam, why were you here before? She said, yes. I said, why did you come? Isn't it too dangerous? Why did you come back? And she said, look, I never got to vote before. This is my country. It's up to me to participate in a democracy and vote. I've never forgotten that, Emmanuel. This is a citizen, an average citizen of a country that, if I can say these words on your podcast, our previous horrible president called a shithole country. I submit to you that this woman knew more about democracy than Donald Trump ever will, understood why it's important, what it's about. So, and then when I went to law school, I was all involved in human rights, of course, and the human rights program at Harvard Law School. But right before I started, I started in September of 1991. So a month before I started, Jean-Bertrand Aristide was overthrown for the first time. So I found myself managing a whole bunch of law students doing asylum claims for Haitians fleeing their country, and I would do most of the interviews, but the other students did a lot of the paperwork. And back in those days, you could get asylum in this country, if you were fleeing persecution like that. But then my first summer of law school, the human rights program paid for me to go work for Human Rights Watch. And I wrote a book-length report called Silencing a People. I don't know if you remember that. It was published in 1990, early 93. But I spent the summer of 1992, and at that time there were 10 départements, right? Now there were 9, now there's 10, right? But NIP wasn't a département yet, but I went there anyway, but I went to all the départements to interview people normalement, in hiding. I guess normalement you would translate as underground, right? Like under the earth.
Yeah.
In brown. I mean, it doesn't, like the soil is brown. Isn't that like what it means? Anyway, and we interviewed teachers and peasant leaders, women's group leaders, all manner of people. And our theory was that the coup regime, why had Aristide been elected, right? There were so many candidates. How could one candidate get 60, 70% of the vote? And the answer was that in the aftermath of Baby Doc fleeing, Haitians were cultivating really a vibrant civil society, neighborhood defense groups, right, literacy groups, and so forth, and that's how he got elected. And the powers that be didn't like it, and so they weren't just attacking individuals; they were trying to destroy these little groups of civil society throughout the country. So we tried to document that. Okay, how long ago was that? 1992. So then I went to Congress, 02, 12, 25 years later in 2018, 2019, I started. And I hadn't been involved in Haiti, right? I have 4 kids. I worked in Michigan and in Washington. But of course, as soon as I got to Congress, I said, well, I got to get on the Foreign Affairs Committee. And I got on the Latin America subcommittee. And yes, I formed a Haiti caucus, which hadn't existed there was something like it many, many years ago in the House. When
But
Walter Fauntroy was the delegate from DC, I believe he
like you, yeah,
what?
but you were the only one in the caucus like speaking some Asian Creole, even more than those with Asian origin, like Asian parents.
Well, so now you can understand why I did it. It's because of my personal history, but it was very important to me. I want to emphasize that when I went out and I got basically I got a database of all the districts in the 435 districts in the House based on how many Haitian American residents they had, and I interviewed probably the top 30. I just spoke to them on the floor of the House. Like let's say you were in one of my colleagues. I said, "Oh, Representative Paul, you're like the 12th biggest district of Haitian Americans. I'm thinking of creating a Haiti caucus. What do you think? What's your interest?" And so I had an idea, right, that the Haitian diaspora is like half in Florida, and then the next most in New York, and then the next most in Massachusetts, and then it spreads out from there. But I thought, let me get a co-chair each from Florida, New York, and Massachusetts. My dear friend Ayanna Presley from Massachusetts was the obvious choice, both because we're close, and I knew she cared, but she represents the vast majority of Haitian Americans in Massachusetts. That's clear. New York, there were several choices, but Yvette Clarke was very interested. Obviously there's several districts with a lot of Haitian Americans in New York City area, but she was interested. And then in Florida, Val Demings didn't represent the most, but she was, very sophisticated about it actually, and interested. So that's how I came up with my three co-chairs. And I'm afraid it's not active like it was. But look, the Democrats don't control the House anymore. And
yeah, yeah,
I
that, that
want to
was
give Greg
that
Meeks.
was the next. Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry about that. That was the next question I was going to ask. Do you have an idea how the caucus is working? But let me ask you, do you think the world has a moral problem? Like people like you who are doing things without any personal interest, so they don't have a more, bigger platform, like m money is dominating almost everything. Like see how Claudine Gay was like almost fired, I would say. Like she resigned from Harvard on the money pressure from other group who, threatened to, withdraw their support if she hasn't, uh,
Yes.
she made mistake in her testimony. But do you think like people who are doing such like great work like you are doing, they don't have a huge platform so people know what they are doing? It should be very easy for you to win any kind of election that you are running based on your track record of like human right defender. So do you think we have a moral problem in the world right now as it stands?
Well, for sure. I mean, but that's not new. So if you think of people that you may respect throughout history, they were never backed by moneyed interests. Last I checked, Nelson Mandela was not, didn't achieve what he achieved because he had a lot of financial support. Mahatma Gandhi didn't, obviously, was in a similar situation. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, many people who led change, the women who led the suffrage movement in the United States, some were wealthy, but many were not. And it certainly the moneyed interests weren't. I mean, literally, women were property under the law of the United States at that time. A woman, she had no bank account. I mean, women did not control money in the United States when they fought this, revolution that they should vote alongside men. So I think that progress has never been made because moneyed interests demanded it, and they've usually fought it. But you're absolutely right to point out that we have a bigger problem than that. We have to fight for a political order, a government structure where money does not play such an outsized role in determining who wins elections. The United States political system is badly broken in this way. I hope that doesn't make people cynical. It should make you want to fight for something better if you're in the United States, and the same in any other country. But the Supreme Court in our country has said that money equals speech. In other words, if you are a billionaire and I'm a regular person, and you want to put like $500 million into, which isn't very much for you, right? If you have $40 billion, I mean, what's 500 million? And you can put that money into an election cycle to try to control the election cycle. That's horrifying. That money doesn't equal speech. No. In a democracy, citizenship means one person, one vote. And okay, to fund campaigns, maybe a billionaire can have 2 or 3 times as much influence as me or something, but not infinite times. You know, that's immoral. It's wrong. It's undemocratic, and we have to fight to change it. But you know, money has always played too big a role in politics. Not always as bad as now, but always too much. And we did end slavery in the United States. We did have women's suffrage. You know, we have achieved a lot of change. I mean, I'm Jewish. My house, still on my deed when I bought it, had language that said no blacks and no Jews could buy the house. It was crossed out. It's unconstitutional today. But as a society, we accomplished that, right? Jewish people can live where they want now. You know, people, African Americans can live where they want now. That is big change, you know, and we've accomplished these changes despite the flaws in our system. So there's a lot of problems in the world, so many problems. And
Let's talk
yeah,
about the situation in Haiti right now. We're
yeah.
almost done. Have you inquired about how the situation is since you left Congress? There's been several you know, delegation from OAS, from CARICOM, from State Department, but things hasn't really changed. Do you have some information like from a personal point of view how things are going?
I have some information, but I want to tell you that when you leave Congress for 1 year, you're not allowed to talk to your former colleagues in the House or the Senate. And now that just ended, you know, for me on January 3rd, but that's only a week ago. So I haven't, you know, talked to my former colleagues about it because I followed the law there. Now I guess I'm free to, so that's a good thing. But I certainly have followed the news about Haiti. I've certainly continued to talk to my friends in Haiti, my Haitian American friends, and I'm very, very, very concerned about the situation. And I feel that the fundamental crisis in Haiti is a governance crisis. And yes, of course, the security situation is horrifying. But in my personal view, Emmanuel, sending in foreign troops because of the security situation, as if that's going to fix things, gets it backwards. I may be wrong about this, but I feel that the Haitian people, through so many organizations, scores and scores of organizations, have worked together to say, you know what, we need to stand up an interim government of people who promise they're not going to run for permanent office, who just want to get us back on a path to democracy. And I think the US should support that instead of frustrating it. And then once that an interim government that actually has some legitimacy with the Haitian people is there, and then if they want to say to the world, hey, we need some help, you know, about security in this or that way, then I think it could have some legitimacy, but probably not, you know, some yet another foreign force coming in, you know, to quote unquote stabilize things in Haiti. I mean, we have to resuscitate real democratic governance, the rule of law, you know, a judiciary that can operate. And the answer isn't we have to have elections right now because there aren't conditions for elections. People, there's no security, there's no safety. So, you know, we're in an extra constitutional situation there. even Moise, before he was assassinated, he was not a constitutional government for, basically a whole year. And the US continued to support this. Him and then Henri after him. No, we have to listen to the Haitian people. And the biggest challenge for the United States, if I can be honest with you, is this. How often have we actually supported the idea of popular democracy in Haiti? Or do we fear popular democracy because if you actually had it, people would demand like higher wages and things that the business class might not like? Well, too bad for us. I mean, actually, it would be good for us, but we need to support actual democracy in Haiti. Yes, popular democracy. Yes, all of the poor people in Haiti having one person, one vote, having a say, whether they're en dehors or in the capital, throughout the country, that they should be able to run their own lives and their own government. And that would be a beautiful thing. And I fear that the United States is just, has never really wanted to support true popular democracy in
But
Haiti.
why do you think is that? Like Haiti is a tiny country, not that we represent, like Haiti represent a threat to the US in terms of geopolitics. And do you think there is like an historical price that Haiti is paying? Because Ariel Henry, he was basically installed by the core group with a tweet, and then now the only reason he's in power is just everybody know that State Department support him. So why is it that simple that they know the right things to do in Haiti?
I mean, they deny that that he's only there because of them, even though we know it's true. Um, I I think that the US gets comfortable dealing with elites in different countries. And they see the elites as sophisticated and they speak French or English. They're easier to communicate with, maybe. And they travel back and forth to the United States. I don't know, Emmanuel, but I think that actually it is so much in the interest of the United States to support popular democracy in Haiti for many reasons. First of all, the immigration situation. I mean, Haitians would love nothing more than to stay in their own beloved country, right? But we foster, migration by not allowing a flourishing economy and rising, standard of living for Haitians in their own country. Secondly, the planet is burning up because of what humans have done for the last couple hundred years since the Industrial Revolution. We need to help Haiti. And as you say, it's just a symbol of so many small, poor countries around the world. We should be in there helping Haiti say, oh, how much offshore wind capacity do you have? How much capacity on those mountain ridges for onshore wind? What about geothermal? What about solar? Could we create micro? You know how in Haiti there never really got to be landline phones everywhere, but cell phones leapfrogged them, right? When they came in many places. Why shouldn't we be saying, okay, there's never been 24/7 reliable electricity in so many places, right, throughout the Plateau Central or whatever you want to think of in Haiti. Let's work with Haitians to create microgrids and local solar power. And by the way, think of how many Haitian Americans you may personally know who are journeymen in the carpenters union or the operating engineers or these other unions. What if you said to Haitian Americans, hey, how about if we pay you your full normal American salary to go be lead on construction projects in Haiti for 6 months or something, and you can help develop a union there, and obviously unionized, say, operating engineers who run bulldozers and cranes and stuff in Haiti wouldn't make the same money they make in the US, but they would make, much more money than they make now. And they could establish like a viable union there with real worker power. Why are we afraid of things like that? I mean, that would be beautiful. And Haiti could even have a garment sector. Let me ask you this. If there was organic union made, cotton clothing from Haiti that wasn't cheapo fast fashion, but still, would be it's less expensive to make it in Haiti than in the US, even if you paid people true fair wages. I think people would gobble it up.
Yeah,
You,
but
you, you
there
feel
are some.
honored to wear it. Wouldn't you feel honored to wear it if it was made with justice?
Yeah, but there are so many people in the US right now, in Haiti right now, who got less than 300. They don't want, there's a humanitarian program like the Biden administration created to help people come. They don't want to come to the US despite the like situation is very terrible in Haiti right now, but they want to stay, even like
You
people
want to
like
stay.
yeah, they want to stay on their country. But for me personally, I love the US. I was a cancer survivor. So if
Mm.
I didn't come here and then I would certainly die. So I was given 6 months even in the US to die, and it's 9 years ago. So
My brother, I didn't know that.
yeah, I love the US as much as I love Haiti, but why is it that simple? Like for State Department, for the Biden administration, this week I heard there is a GOP representative in Florida who were forced to resign because he is accused of sexual harassment, and the US backed someone who is accused of being involved in the assassination of a president. So is it like a double standard when it's come to third world countries like Haiti, and the US has really nothing to lose to back like democracy in Haiti, back development? It would be even better for them, like less immigrants and more business like Apple or other big tech company can go offshore and then get some job done and then send them to the US. But it's so simple for you and for me, but seems like a very complicated things for the United States. But I know your time is over, and then I am very happy for you taking over your time. Sorry about that, but
No, that's okay.
have
I do have to
you,
go, but it's delightful to talk to
yeah,
you.
have you
I
been
miss our
contacted?
conversations when I
Have
was
you
in
been
Congress.
contacted by the State Department or the Biden administration since you left about Haiti, a consultation to know what they should or should not do? Uh, did anyone
Um,
contact you?
not like that, I would say, but I did. When there was a long time, right, when there was no U.S. ambassador to Haiti and no one named, right? And I did talk to the National Security Council folks in the White House and the State Department about that. I felt like it was very important to, fill that post. And I was, I don't know the person they filled it with. I'm sure they're a fine person, but I was really pushing them to see that as an opportunity to change, to sort of turn a page, right? And have a fresh approach. And let's just say that I don't know. I'm not sure that's happened yet. So we still have to keep fighting for the for people the fine public servants of the United States who work in these jobs to see what you and I see, that there's a beautiful course for Haiti. There's nothing inevitable. I think it's straight up racism if people say Haiti's hopeless. Haiti, it's always like this. It always will be like this. You don't know. The Haitian people are just as capable, maybe more capable than most, certainly as capable as anyone else of having a functioning democracy and a thriving economy. The people are so hardworking in Haiti. There's so much idealism. There's so much creativity and business sense. And, just Haiti has all the ingredients to be in a very different situation than it is now. And it's up to the United States to get out of the way and help that happen. So that can
Thank,
be my
thank
close.
you. Thank you so much, former Congressman Levin. It was a pleasure to have you. I hope we will have another opportunity to discuss again. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Okay, Kembe Film.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.